Taylor, Dad Hargrave from Marketing for Hippies. Today's video is about feeling really awkward with networking and approaching people. So I get this question from time to time. It's like, what do you do about the shy, socially awkward, kind of introverted, terrified to talk to people? The paralytically shy, oh God, I stick my foot in my mouth all the time. I get really weird around people. You know, what are you supposed to do about this? So, let me say this. Here's the punchline for today's video is, you're supposed to be awkward. This is just a human thing. I don't know many humans that don't have some awkwardness in certain situations. And I think it's actually one of the most beautiful things about humans. It's a sign of genuineness. When somebody's too slick, polished, plastic, manicured, no blunders, scripted. You see what I'm saying? There's something that's deeply untrustworthy about this. I remember reading this book by a guy named Jerry Spence called How to Argue and Win Every Time. And he talked about this one fellow, he was a lawyer, and this one fellow who was being prosecuted went up onto the stand, and first of all he had this very smug vibe, but he was also dressed in his designer three-piece suit and not a hair was out of place, so slick. And you see what I'm saying? People didn't trust him. He was too put together. So when people's pitches and presentations are too put together, there's something untrustworthy about it. It's just a true thing. When people are too perfect, you know, you never want it to be this you never want it to be too good to be true. That's really important. It's often a case where people have this they come up with something and they present it in such a way that lands as too good to be true, so that nobody trusts it. So, much better than this. Much better than the perfectly scripted video that you tried to do 100 damn times, and you got it perfect. You said every word exactly right, but all the spirit, all the, you know, the zest is gone from it. All the personality is gone from it. God, how many times have I seen this? Videos from people, they're scripted. It's clearly a script they somehow picked up or learned or were coached on by some marketing coach, and they sound like they're on an infomercial. It's so painful to watch. It's much more delightful to watch somebody just be awkward. It's much more, it feels better, but it's also surprisingly much more effective when somebody will just walk up to somebody at networking and say, hi, let me start again. Sorry. I was talking to my friend. They said I should talk to you, and I'm not hitting on you. They said we should. Let me start again. You have a business. I have a business. I think we might be able to work. You see what I'm saying? This is so dissembling, but it's authentic. And maybe this is actually a good time to share this. This is one potential rendering of an etymology. There's some debate about it, but well, if it's not true, it should be true. It feels just right. In ancient Rome and Greece, you know, marble was used, and in Rome, there were different kinds of marble you could have, and some marble had this what you would call very fine crystalline structure. So this is the stuff you'd make Michelangelo's David out of. You could work at it, and you can get such immense fine detail, whereas other marble, the crystalline structure is a little coarser, and so if you hit it wrong, maybe a whole chunk comes out. And so this would happen when you were trying to build the marble, you know, the poles, you know, and the columns, and sometimes on the walls. And so this is trouble because it looks ugly. You don't want to have holes and things, but it happens. So one of the things they figured out is if they took beeswax and they mixed it up with the powder of the marble they were using, some of the broken pieces, they could then push that in, and because the color matched, and if the people were really skillful at it, you just couldn't tell that there was a hole. Okay. The word for wax in Latin is ceres, ceres, C-E-R-E-S. And the word for without, sin, S-I-N. So without wax. sincere. Yeah. So letting your holes show. That is trustworthy. It's very trustworthy to let your holes show. I mean, sure, every once in a while get some wax busted out, but we trust people who feel comfortable enough in their own skin to just say, this is who I am. I've got my issues, but I'm okay with me. We don't trust collapsing. People who collapse, we don't trust that. People who posture, we definitely don't trust that if we're hippies. But there's something else beyond just collapsing and posturing, which is composure. And composure doesn't require perfection. So you're supposed to be awkward. You're a human being. Human beings are just shy creatures. Even the most extroverted amongst us. There's human beings inherently, when we first meet each other, there's a bit of checking each other out. Just like kids, there's this shy, smiling awkwardness. And that gets overcome soon. It doesn't take long for us to overcome and relax in somebody else's presence. But those initial moments, it's of course it's awkward. You're supposed to be awkward. The stress that you feel about this, if this really gets to you, the stress isn't that you're awkward, I promise you. The stress is that you think you should not be awkward. It's okay. It's human. It's a beautiful thing to be a little bit awkward from time to time. So, anyways, this doesn't mean if this is really a thing for you, don't get therapy or help or coaching or counseling. Sometimes there's deeper things that's connected to, sure. But hey, you're a human in the modern age where there's a lot of troubles, and we're raised with a cultural poverty that is immense beyond reckoning. So it's par for the course these days too. Okay, I think I've said it all. If you feel awkward, groovy, just roll with it. You know, haven't you seen this? I mean, it's like old public speaking advice. If you get up in front of a group of people and you're nervous, the most authentic thing you can say is, I feel really nervous. You know, rather than pretending you don't. I remember seeing somebody give a talk, and halfway in, he just said, I couldn't give less of a shit about this right now. He's like, I'll get over it, but right now I just couldn't give a shit. And it was actually, we laughed, and it was it was late at night. It had been a long day. I think a lot of us were sitting there feeling the same way. And so it was so honest. And that honesty was the thing that built the connection and deepened the trust. It didn't erode the trust, it deepened the trust. And then sure enough, he did pick back up, and we, I think, picked back up as an audience, which probably helped him too. So, yeah. If you're quirky, if you're awkward, beautiful. Yeah, that's all I got to say about that. So if you like this video, please share it around. If you don't like it, don't share it. That'd be an awkward thing to do. And if you want to subscribe to my videos, you can click the red subscribe button and then the little bell icon to make sure you're notified about future videos. I've got a website, marketingforhippies.com. I got an email list. I send out emails, the whole thing. So hopefully that's helpful. Take care.